Hello and welcome back to the Making Fire podcast. This is a podcast where two longtime besties talk about their favorite TV show, Survivor. This week we are covering episode 5 of Survivor Heroes versus Villains. How are we already on episode 5? Don't know. Before we get into it, Riley, I have to ask, how are you?
It's been so long since we've talked to each other. I'm
So long.
so glad we're able to reconnect at this moment. First of all, I want to say to anybody looking at my face right now and wants to talk about the pimple next to my mouth, I will come and find you and kill you. Keep that in. I better not hear nothing about it. I can't put a pimple patch right here because I have a fat ass mouth, and I just I be talking and it falls off. I've tried multiple times to put a pimple patch on that pimple and it just will not let me. And I don't want to waste a good pimple patch if I know it's gonna fall off.
You need to send all your pimple patches to Nick in the villa.
So true, so true, so true. I'm doing so good, and I have to talk about a sort of a form of media that I think is significantly underrated. We don't talk about it enough, and is underappreciated in the world that we take up, and that is podcasts.
Underappreciated for sure.
Guys, I love a podcast. Maybe that's why I have one, but I do have to say, I did a lot of driving yesterday in real life. I drove for a total probably 5, almost 6 hours yesterday. Clinical, babe. Clinical. Like, that's insane. I was in the car for a long time yesterday, and I just love a podcast. Sometimes music to me, I have a hard time. Something I'm trying to work on in my music. I know I talk about music on here a lot, but I'm a big album fan. I like listening to an album cover to cover because I do think that's sort of the way you appreciate the music that you love, because that's the way God and the artist intended for it to be made.
I agree.
And so I'm a big album, like, cover to cover album, like, listener. But I recently am like, I really do need to get into like curating playlists, because sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to listen to a whole album, and I don't know what I want to listen to. Spotify has this great feature where you can just like pick one song. Like, I like today going to work, I was like, I want to listen to Supernova by Kylie Minogue. So I put on Supernova by Kylie Minogue, and then it just started playing songs that were similar, which usually will do it for me. But I'm like, I really do just need to create a curated playlist. But the problem is like, I don't know what the vibe is. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I'll put all of this, and then it just ends up I'm adding like in high school, I just had one big playlist that had like 11 hours of music on it. Just every time I liked a song, I was like, I'll just put it on here and it'll be here. But I'm like, I don't want to do that. So that's hard. But you know what's great about a podcast is
What's
like
great about a podcast?
I can just trust it's not very stimulating. It's not overstimulating.
Yes.
I can listen. It usually only if two people are talking. If it's more than two, then I'm like, oh, too much. But like a good 2-person podcast. I've been a podcast listener for so long. It fluctuates. I listen to podcasts. I stop listening to podcasts. Things move with time, but I just love it. I'm gonna shout out because there are peers.
Right.
There are mutuals. In my cycle right now is the Upstairs Neighbor podcast with Dom and Maya. It's a new one on my list. My youngest sibling Rowan is sort of a big fan of them, and I've listened to them because I haven't been listening to Emergency Intercom as much as of recent. And I feel like this has been a good filler. I love them, Dom and Maya. They're great. My brother in Christ, Caleb Herron's The So True podcast. Do love that podcast. Pre people comparing me to him, I do have to say I've been listening to it, okay?
I
was on that
love
train.
his podcast.
So good. And I like that he is just so genuinely funny, and he does the podcast with comedians. Excuse me, but he also they will have like not a deep conversation, but they'll like have good personal conversations, which I really do enjoy. And I just think he's so funny. And
He's a
obviously,
great interviewer.
yes,
And, like,
great interviewer.
Really good at playing off of their answers.
He's great
as well.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. He's great at listening. He's great at engaging, which I really do appreciate, especially from a host of a podcast. Because it can be rough out there in these streets. It can be,
especially when it's with people that I don't know who are on it. I think he does a really good job of making them accessible and exciting
to his audience.
Exactly.
I 100% agree with that. I find myself just listening to random ass comedians I've never heard of, and probably, so sorry to say, will never look into ever again. I just am like, Caleb is just so engaging. I really appreciate it. And then my longtime favorite podcast, I've been listening to this podcast for years, the Sibling Rivalry podcast with Bob the Drag Queen, Monet Exchange, the whole Sibling Rivalry network. Baby, my humor has been handcrafted by Bob the Drag Queen and Monet Exchange in a way, like, it's clinical. I'm so obsessed with them. I highly recommend, if after you listen to our podcast, if you're looking for a silly podcast, listen to them. They have a great review show. They review drag, well, right now Monet is filming The Traitor, so Monet is not doing this season. Bob made it seem like Monet got in trouble because Monet is currently the official reviewer for the actual, like, the official Drag Race review show, the Pit Stop.
Yeah.
Monet's doing it, and Bob tried to set it up and make it seem like the VH1 network and Paramount Plus got mad at Monet and gave her like a cease and desist and was like, you can't do another podcast, you can't do another review podcast. Really, they did it because they knew Monet was about to be on The Traitors, and so she wasn't going to be her little song. Anyway, great podcast. They're so funny. The lore on that podcast is crazy. So many of my inside jokes, just like with my sibling who's also a fan of the podcast, like so many quotes I quote from that show, quote from those two. Monet Exchange has her own show, Monet Talks, which I would say is similar to Caleb Heron, where it's just like interviewing people, and I listened to that a lot on my way home last night. It was so good. I just love hearing people talk. I like hearing people talk about their lives, things that interest them. Mm-hmm. So yeah, get into podcasts if you guys aren't already.
Yeah.
Maddie, I have to ask, how are you doing?
I'm doing so well. I want to jump on your music thing because I'm also an album person, and I don't know what it is, but I cannot make a playlist. I cannot bring myself
I don't
to
know
do it.
how to do it.
So what I do when I'm not listening to a specific album is I really like Spotify's artist radios. So I can just go on Beyonce's radio, and it's a curated playlist, but also it's influenced by what Spotify knows you already like. And I found so much of the music I listen to through that, but I am not a playlist person. I don't know why, I just cannot bring myself to do it. I'll start one, add one song, and then be like, I don't know, I get overwhelmed by the vibe.
Right.
And Spotify just does it better.
What are you trying to curate? I don't know. My problem with AI on Spotify, the Spotify curation stuff, the DJ or the playlists or whatever, is I'm like, girl, I've been using Spotify since 2014. For 11 years, I've been using Spotify. Girl, it will bring up shit from 2015. I'm like, girl, I don't want to listen to Doechii and then listen to the Hamilton soundtrack. I have to be in a very specific, and sometimes it just be doing that shit, and I'm like, it ruins my vibe. I
don't listen to the DJ for that reason, but I found that the artist radios don't do that. It's definitely more of your recent playlist, or recent heard music that you listen to. So no, it does not do that for me. But the DJ, yes, I do not listen to that.
That DJ is crazy work.
It is crazy work, and it's not the vibe. But no, this week, obviously, I got my hair cut after talking about it for so long. It feels so good. There is nothing like having clean ends on your hair. I can't recommend it enough. What did I want to talk about this week? In full transparency, we did talk 2 days ago, so it has not been a week. But in these last few days, I finished the 3rd book of Outlander. Guys, that series just gets better and better. I swear I am addicted to that series, so I can't even talk about it. It's too good. If you watch or read Outlander, please reach out to me. I will talk about it with anyone that will listen. I guess to jump off you with a podcast, I've also been kind of in not a music, or also you didn't say this, but I've been in a little bit of a music rut, and I feel I've been listening to podcasts more in the last few weeks. Some of my favorites, The Bald and the Beautiful.
Honorable mention.
They're my favorite cooking dinner podcast, where I can just listen and then I can sort of tune out for a second, and then I come back and it's gonna be silly.
My only problem with that, I'm like, girl, I have never seen a podcast run more ads than The Bald and the Beautiful. I swear to God.
Well, Katya's got to get her bag somehow.
let's cut to the break. Let's get to a break.
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break. After that, let's take a break. No, she does have to get her back somehow. But it's at the expense of me and my listening experience. I will say though, it's a very entertaining podcast. And when because obviously you can just skip through the ads, like you're not being forced to sit there. But sometimes I don't want to have to skip. Like I really just want to be able to put my phone on and just let it do what it needs to do. But no, you're right. That is a good pod.
And then another one of my favorites is the What We Said podcast with JC and Chelsea. They are my favorite Valley girls. They're just two silly longtime besties who have a podcast, and they are so fun. Just talk about life, very silly stories. They always have so much going on. And I know I've talked about this podcast multiple times, but Amy Poehler's podcast is just quickly rising to be like a top favorite. She is also such a good interviewer, and she is so funny. And I just love the people that she brings on. They're all so fun. Like she had Dakota Johnson on recently, and I was like, whoa.
Actually, Ellen, that's not the truth.
That's not the truth. I didn't realize how funny that woman is. She is hilarious. And I feel like Amy just brings out the silly side of people, and you get to see a different side of all these celebrities who you might not expect to be so fun and like cool. So anyways, those are my podcast recommendations. But we ready to jump into this episode?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, full transparency. Haven't watched it. Could you imagine?
I was like, I know you told me that you watched it, but also at the same time, that would be crazy. You just like go along with everything I say.
I'm like, no, right.
That would be like a funny April Fool's prank. If,
yeah, except not at all.
Well, it would be funnier on an episode, like in a season, an off-season, like not in a current season. I think that would be a lot more confusing, but especially in this, because like you do have a general idea of like how things go.
Right.
I think it maybe don't, but like it could be funny. Anyway.
Oh yeah, remember the part of the episode where Colby pushes Rupert off the cliff?
Right. Like,
that was so silly. Right?
Right. Okay. Getting into this. We open on the heroes coming back after the Suri vote, and Colby says that JT is his hero and saved his life tonight. And JT tells everyone that he didn't intentionally want to hurt everyone's feelings, but he's just playing the game. And Suri needed to go.
Okay, I do have to say, JT is being messy boots right now.
Yeah.
That was kind of cunty. Him being like, I didn't vote Sari to be against you guys. I just needed her to go home. I was like, okay, wait, you kind of ate that in the most messiest way possible. Like, that's a messy queen right there.
He is messy.
Messy. I haven't
episode.
Rewatching this season, I'm like, oh my god, I kind of want to rewatch all of Survivor. Like, I haven't rewatched all the seasons since like the pandemic, like my senior year of high school.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is making me like, I want to go back and watch Token Sheens. Like, I want to see his winning game and like see, because like what he's not just messy now for no reason.
No, and it's so interesting because I watched Token Chains just a few years ago, and he's so likable in that. In this season, I find him to be so unlikable. So it's a really interesting sort of flip for him. But the next morning, JT tells Amanda that he swears he would never turn on Amanda or lie to her, and she's like, right. Okay.
You blindsided me once, shame on me. Wait, shame on you?
Yeah.
No, end the podcast, end it, delete the channel. I can't take it.
Let's take a break.
Let's go to a break. No, I get what she's saying though.
Yes. And
Amanda's not the fool that y'all are trying to make her seem to be.
no.
2 times finalist. Like, she, even if she's not the best strategist or best game player, she's had enough experience on the island at this point in consecutive years. Like, she can know what she's talking about.
Yes. And yeah, this is not, I think people do underestimate her a lot. Especially JT. I kind of feel like
she's too
he
pretty.
thinks that he just like knows everything and is like, I don't know why in this conversation it came across as like he's better than her in a way.
No, but I think part of it is like, okay, woman, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, JT is a winner.
Yes.
And he played a perfect game. So like there's a little bit of that. Amanda's a 2-time finalist loser. Capital L. So I get like I don't get it. Like you should never underestimate somebody, especially on an all-star season, because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
All-star seasons can be the most unpredictable of anything. Like you never know. Anyway, but
And like you're not the only winner here.
Right. On this tribe specifically too.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So then we go over to the villains tribe, and Coach is leading some Dragon Slayer chi to center everyone's minds and bodies.
Oh, who's you? That's how I feel about it. Girl, get off my screen. I don't care. I don't give a damn. And you know what? When Survivor 50 comes out, I better not see one thing of yoga. That's all I'm saying.
No, you know we're gonna.
Unless Mike White is leading it.
I need a drunk Mike White.
Oh my God, that's gonna be the first cameo in season 4 of The White Lotus. Coach is gonna be doing yoga.
Oh my God, that's actually
Scrap
genius.
it. No, scrap it. That. Oh my God, I can't believe you put that out in the universe. That was a bad aura. That's bad aura right there. I just did something disastrously. Is that a word? To season 4 of The White Lotus.
I thought you were gonna say that Mike White needs to be our cameo or Coach for next season or for season 50. Sorry. God,
I'm gonna be honest.
49
I don't want to put a single dollar in Coach's pocket. Sorry, it's not controversial. Sorry.
He's been on cameo for a while.
Okay, and he can stay on there.
Anyways, everyone takes part.
Not me beefing with a 50-year-old man. Let me check myself. Hold on. Hold on.
So, are you saying that you would be Russell in this situation, being the one person to not participate?
Yes. This is okay. Now the old schoolers. You know, I have a lot of praise for the old schoolers. Not to jump to the point that you say what you're about to say, and I'll say my point.
Oh, I was going to say Russell decides that he's going to be the only one out of the entire tribe to not participate, and so he goes to look for the idol, which he does find.
And okay, like I know the idols are new, and this was a point I literally made last episode. But I'm like, do what the heroes did. Be messy. You know, Russell is looking for the idol, or that he might have it. Like I don't like if he.
No, it is.
Let's use our brains, people. Y'all are under a spell.
It is the Boston Rob and Coach spell.
Right. Ooh, don't look at the
so...
eczema on my hand, please. I'm trying to focus anyway. Sorry.
It is so interesting, the difference in just messiness between the two tribes. Like, even though the villains tribe has gone to tribal, the heroes, obviously they've gone to tribal so much more, but they just, like, inherently are so messy. Like, yes, they might have a better shelter, but that's kind of, like, where
it ends.
It starts and stops with shelter.
Yeah, it's interesting because they both are dysfunctional for different reasons.
But like even on a good day, they would never be doing a group exercise like that together.
No, they wouldn't.
Like James would be yelling at them and making fun of them.
Right. He said, You'll never be as strong as me, and you'll never beat me in a race."
And Jeff, tell your niece.
And you know what? Tell her that. I tell her I said that.
Also, wait, is he not? Well, I guess how many nieces does Jeff have? Because was this a reference to Austin's girlfriend?
Maybe, but you keep talking. Let me see if I can research.
Okay, so we get to the reward challenge, and this one is so physical in a way that like this is one that I can never see coming back in sort of how it goes.
She has just one niece.
So it was Austin's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyways.
I forgot that was a headline.
Yeah.
Look at you keeping up with the Survivor news.
So at this reward challenge, 3 members of each tribe have to retrieve a ball from a pit. There's 3 balls, 6 people. And they toss the goal is to get a ball and toss it to your team who's standing on this platform thing. And then one of those people have to throw it across the sort of, I don't know, arena and make it into a basket. And the first team to 2 points wins. The winners get taken to a beautiful watering hole where they get chocolate in all sorts of different formats.
Okay. The last thing I would want, and I get like, okay, the calories you can get from chocolate, that's really exciting. And I'm not saying Colby was in the right with his bratty ass attitude this episode, but like the last thing I would want on Survivor is a chocolate reward. Like maybe like maybe like a chocolate cake or something. Like,
yes,
but I don't want the whole reward to be chocolate items. I think I'm literally like sick thinking about it.
Yes, like this was not necessary, and also I think not what, I don't know, not a great idea. For how much we praise the reward challenges, I will say that this one was a little bit of a flop for me. I did think it was cool. I mean, we'll get there. The idea of the watering hole is kind of fun, but at the same time, it is like, well, they are swimming in the ocean every single day.
Right.
Like, I don't think swimming is necessarily what I would want. I don't think that I would want swimming in a beautiful watering hole, as Jeff puts it, and a charcuterie board of chocolate. Like, I think this was maybe a little bit of a miss for me. But anyways, this challenge, well, even before the challenge, Jeff starts off by offering everyone a little piece of chocolate to sort of get their taste buds flowing in anticipation and get them excited about this reward. And Colby and all of the heroes, but specifically Colby, declines very vocally. And he's like, I don't want it. I just want to get to the challenge. And gets a little tense with Jeff. Jeff is like, well, we're going to go when I'm ready. And everyone's like, whoa.
I mean, yeah, he has a point. Like, Colby, you still, okay, the villains are going to take theirs, so you still have to wait for the villains to eat their chocolate and for Jeff to explain everything. Like, why?
Colby was in a little bit of a mood this episode.
A brat. Colby Brat Summer was last summer. You can tell Amanda kind of wanted the chocolate, but was standing 10 toes. She said, if nobody else is going to take some.
I don't really understand why you wouldn't take it. And especially
I don't either. If you're trying to put on a facade of tribe strength, baby, you've lost every single challenge. The facade has been broken.
And it's like, well, okay, obviously they didn't know it at this point, but like, well, you lose the challenge and then you don't get any chocolate.
Right.
Like, you don't even want a taste of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we get into the challenge, and interesting, I thought after this whole thing with Colby about the chocolate thing, I thought it was really interesting that he ended up being the one to sit out. So where was the energy of, I just want to get into the challenge? Like, why didn't you have Tom?
Oh, I hate a man. Oh, I hate a man. Why are you making my problem, or your problem, my problem? If you don't want chocolate, that is fine. Always talking the talk, but you never want to do nothing about it. Man used to go
Sorry, man used to what?
I don't know about used to anymore. Anyway, sorry. Tough subject. Okay. Y'all, I'm obese and I'm gay. I'm okay. The podcast will still be going on. It will be okay, I promise. To all the
worry.
Making Fire fans, I will be okay. I promise. And if one day I'm not here,
if things get dire enough,
right, we'll keep y'all updated. Follow us on the Patreon. The newsletter's there. Y'all will
not the newsletter.
Y'all will get your updates there. Don't worry. The Substack. Follow our Patreon and our Substack. You'll get the info.
Right. Okay. During the challenge, there's a lot of back and forth. It's pretty physical. But the first thing of note is that James comes down really hard after trying to jump, and he twists his knee really bad. And immediately medical has to get called in, and he gets removed from the challenge for this.
And you know what pisses me off? Sometimes from Survivor production, I'm like, you guys are stupid. Why not just put Colby? Why do you guys now? Why don't you just put Colby in the challenge?
Right, like, in what way was it, like, part of the rules that because someone got hurt, like, no one could sub in? Especially another dude to fill in the exact same role.
Doesn't make any sense.
No, it's like putting them totally in a, like, it's kicking a man while he's down. Like, this Heroes Tribe cannot win a single challenge, and then they lose their biggest, strongest guy and don't even get to sub in Colby.
I don't understand how that makes any sense, like, logically. It doesn't.
No.
Like, in what... It's not less fair to put Colby in to the villains tribe.
And it hadn't been going on, like, no one had scored yet.
Right. I don't
No.
know. I was like, this is confusing.
It was.
You're confused. I'm fucking confused, bro.
Then Amanda scores the first point for the heroes.
Work. Women love women.
Happy Pride. Oh, wait.
Not when this episode comes out.
Guys, I retract that. Moving on. JT gets extremely country again. He can't help it, frankly, and he is sort of slamming Boston Rob around. He's slamming Coach around.
The heroes are violent.
They are such an interesting group. Like, I don't know, they've devolved from heroes and from their humanity a little bit over the course of these few
Baby,
weeks.
this is Lord of the Flies live and in person. We are watching Lord of the Flies take place. This is a case study.
Case study. No, actually though. And then Tyson scores a point for the villains. And then we cut, sort of shift the camera over and we see Rupert slams Jerry into the railing. And then
Mind you, the point was scored. Like, the round was over.
slams her face into the railing. She falls to the ground, and then Boston Rob goes up and grabs him by the shoulders and sort of pins him. And Jeff is like, "Hey, stop!" And you just don't see this kind of thing happening.
And
nowadays.
Rupert was like, I didn't mean it. And Jerry was like, whatever. And he was like, fine. Rupert, shut up.
Like, she didn't bang her own head on the
Right.
railing.
Oh, I obviously didn't mean to do it. I don't know that for a fact, actually. I don't know that. Because guess what, Rupert? The challenge was over. The round was over.
Just because a man in a tie-dye shirt is telling me he didn't mean to do that doesn't mean I believe him.
Right.
Yeah, so that was pretty wild. But then in the next round, Jerry scores the winning point for the villains.
Work, Jerina Manthe.
Yeah, I was happy for them after this. These heroes are just getting dirty.
And it's like, how are you not embarrassed? How is it? It's embarrassing. Like, you are playing dirty and you're still losing.
Exactly. Every single time. It's tough. It makes it tough. You can't even root for the heroes.
Right.
Making us root for the villains. Like,
Well.
the heroes aren't even, most of them, likable at this point. So, then after the challenge, James gets a closer look from Medical, who sort of wraps his leg up and is like, yeah, he's likely done enough damage to be pulled from the game, but we will keep an eye on it.
Whatever you say.
Yeah, sure. So we go to the reward with the villains, and they are chowing down on all that chocolate, but also being like, I feel sick right now. Like, I'm not presently feeling good about this. And also, like, what did Survivor expect? Like,
Right.
you give these people who are barely eating anything a bunch of, like, chocolate? Like,
A bunch of
cups of
sweets.
M&Ms? And chocolate cake?
You could do like a sweet
milk?
pastry. But I don't need like, I don't know. Like, I could do like a glazed donut or something. I don't know. Like,
But then also have, like, do, like, a
vanilla ice
breakfast thing.
cream. Right.
Well, if you're gonna do
Right.
donuts, do like eggs and bacon.
No, I get what you're
waffles.
saying. Like, it doesn't have to just be this thing.
Like, why the chocolate? Yeah,
I feel like the Cheesecake Factory should sponsor Survivor.
that would be really good. That's
The reward is just 33-piece slices of cheesecake.
go to town. They also get to enjoy swimming in this beautiful watering hole.
It was really pretty.
It was gorgeous, but
Spell gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
I don't know.
Wait,
That sounded right. I could never.
Yep,
If
I was
a
right.
gun to my head, spell gorgeous.
I was right. Okay.
I wouldn't be able to do it, unfortunately.
Moving on. Let's not put that to the test. Russell then is one-on-one talking to Parv. Also, Parv was like wearing his hat at points during this. I was like, take that off.
I would say you'd get lice, but he doesn't have any hair, so it's chill.
Right. Ew. And he tells Parv that he has the idol. Meanwhile, a group of people are in the water.
Was Danielle with them as well, or was it just him and Parv?
I think it was just him and Parv.
Got it.
And then a group of people that were swimming were also talking, and we're like, yeah, I'm basically 100% confident that Russell has the idol. So not really a secret. But Parv is happy about this, being told about this idol from Russell, because it's a little bit more protection for her since she does have such a big target on her back. And then Russell and Parv are talking about Coach, and Parv calls him a scared little puppy dog. And they decide that they want to lure him in onto their side to blindside Rob, because that is Russell's number one op. Then Russell is talking to Coach in a little one-on-one, and he swears on his life, literally, to use the idol for his alliance, and tells Coach that he would use it on him if the time came for it. And Coach's response to this, Coach has never been more grateful, frankly. He goes as far as to bow down and kneel to Russell, and Russell sort of knights him. And I cannot think of a way to stoke Russell's ego anymore.
I will say, I don't want to give Russell Hansen's 10s at all, but I will say this is one of his smarter moves. This was where really he knew exactly who he needed to talk to get the numbers on his side, and it worked it fit like a glove. It was perfect.
It actually couldn't have gone any better.
I know, it did exactly what he needed it to do.
Yes, so that was, yeah, I'll give him his moment for that. But we go back to the heroes, and Amanda and Candace are sad about James. And they're like, that is our strongest physical player. We cannot have him injured. Amanda is very emotional about this whole James situation. She doesn't like seeing him hurt, and she's like, he is a big brother to me, and she just loves him so much.
Work. I mean, they've spent a lot of time together at that point, like 3 years, like that. I could understand.
I can understand that too. That really would be crazy to have like this one person that you're on every single time with.
Yeah.
So then everyone around camp is having a lot of feelings about James being hurt, maybe good, maybe bad. But then they see him walking down the beach with his knee all braced, and everyone greets him. Amanda runs up crying and gives him a big hug. And he's like,
sorry, you say that.
Oh, he's just like, yeah, guys, I don't know what's wrong with it. It doesn't hurt, but I can't walk.
I don't know how truthful. I don't know.
If you can't walk on it.
I know, but it doesn't hurt. It just like you're just unable to walk.
Right.
I don't know. I'm not here to call somebody a liar, but have you seen the clip of Kimmy from Survivor Second Chance, Survivor Australia? Well, no, Survivor Australian Outback / Survivor Second Chance. Kimmy, I forget her last, Kappenberg, I think, and it's the family visit, and her dad comes out, and she runs towards her dad, and she's like, "Daddy, Daddy!" and she's running towards him. That video is Amanda running towards James gave that. It was, but it not like Amanda being like "Daddy, Daddy," but in the sense that the way that like Amanda slowly walked and then started running is what like Kimmy did in that same video. But it was like also the clapping and like the exciting to see somebody sort of crying.
Emotional.
Should I try to find the video?
Yes.
Sorry about that abrupt stop, everybody. We just cut because I was really looking for the video, and I did not accidentally stop the recording, and we had to download the video. That did not happen.
No, it didn't.
But I found the video. Do you want to watch it?
Most importantly. I can't wait to see this video.
It's not even going to be worth it. Like, I'm going to show it, and you're going to be like... Okay, my volume's all the way up.
Kimmy, you've waited longer than anyone else to have a loved one visit you on Survivor. Here's your dad, right?
My daddy!
Wait, I've definitely seen this.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daddy.
gift that I could give my dad is to let him be a part of my dreams.
Oh,
My daddy, my daddy, my daddy.
bring back family visits.
I think we should. Hopefully on Survivor 50.
I don't think they are.
Well, fuck you.
I think they're doing videos again. I know. Anyways,
Where did we leave off?
let's jump
James
to the
is back-
immunity.
James is back on the beach.
James is back on the beach.
And he's fine, question mark.
Fine or fine?
Fine?
Like, he's fine.
Oh, no, I meant like...
Or is he fine?
He's allegedly fine according to the doctors. I can hear the rain. We gotta wrap it up, babe. If you lose power... I know, I shouldn't have said it. That's so...
We get to the immunity challenge. One person is a caller, and the others are blindfolded in pairs. The caller has...
They love a collar blindfold situation.
They do.
Keep it in the bedroom, Jeff. I don't care what you and Boston Rob do. I don't want it on my TV screen.
He's been reading too many smut books.
Oh, the lore. Y'all have to be privy to our... that when we start a Patreon...
Oh, we can start recording our pre-episode chats.
Every episode before we record, the lore is that Maddie and I will sit down for an hour and do our weekly catch-up, because this is our, like, weekly time we talk to each other, and it gets juicy, y'all. Ugh. Y'all will not get it. Anyway, yeah, keep the smut books to yourself.
Jeff. So the caller has to direct the blindfolded pairs to these big puzzle pieces that are scattered around. And once they found all the pieces, they can remove and bring them back to the mat. They can remove their blindfolds and they solve a puzzle. Jerry is the caller for the villains and really for the villains, yes. And James, very interestingly, is the caller for the heroes. Notoriously great communicator.
The worst person you could have possibly put in that spot. Mind you, this man speaks at -3 volume.
Either -3 or 10.
Right.
Those are his 2 volumes. But it's going to go ahead and be -3 during this. It sounds like he's like actively losing his voice.
Yeah, it does.
Like can't speak. But I mean, really, nothing super exciting happens. The villains sort of catch up to the heroes at the puzzle. They didn't really have that great of a lead, but the villains make up time, and turns out they can do a puzzle well too. So they really knocked it out with this one. They win immunity. And James in his confessional says that he is still more helpful in challenges than Tom is on a good day. So
that is a 9/11 first responder you're talking about, James. Get that in your head.
Show some respect.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I've been saying.
I'm glad that you're saying that.
And that's what I've always said. Actually.
And that's what I've always said. Back to the Heroes Beach. Tom and Colby are talking about sending James home, especially with his leg, also because of his attitude. The leg is more of like it really builds up the argument.
Right.
So then we have Rupert talking to JT and Candace, and he's like, hey, we need to go for Tom. And Candace is like, no, that's stupid. Like, James can't even run right now. And Rupert's like, well, if that's what we're basing things off of, then I should be going home.
Well, hey, you said it, not me.
I know. It's like, that's a really bold statement. A sort of similar statement gets thrown around multiple times this episode. I'm like, wow, we're really throwing around the just vote me out then.
Now, and be honest, Rupert, even if your toe wasn't broken, would you be really doing the running?
I am really surprised that, like, he isn't coming up as a target at all when they are actively losing challenges. Like, what is he contributing, really?
I think it's more the lack of his ability to play the game of Survivor. He's a very good character.
Like, yeah.
But, like, he can just be around. Like, Rupert's never going to mastermind the blind side against you.
That's a good point. Yeah. Then James walks up and is like, hey, no, I know this is going on, but I really don't want to go home. Please, not me. Let's make it Tom. Then we have Amanda and Rupert who are talking, and they are already frustrated with JT over the Suri vote. And they're like, okay, we're really going to have problems if JT votes against us again tonight. Then game over. Not having fun with him. And JT really is just the major swing vote of it all. Both sides are kind of pulling for his vote, but they're all like, he's so wishy-washy and he only plays into the hand that feeds him, and this is really going to catch up to him.
So messy.
And not
kind of for no reason too, because you're not really in a position like this could have easily been a power alliance that just gets rid of the minority in their tribe.
Yeah.
There was really no need. I mean, I guess the idea is, okay, what if we only go to 2 tribals, right? Like, what if we only voted out, who was the first person? If we only voted out, okay, like Sugar was open, right? Sugar was everybody. So, like, what happens if we vote Stephanie and then Suri, and then we don't go back to tribal? And then, I don't know, like, JT, he feels more in the middle. I don't know what the mindset is, because there was really no need for it. Like, there, it was open. A core group was there.
No need for it, and to make everyone mad at you on every, like, even the side that you voted with is recognizing how wishy-washy you are and how, like, untrustworthy you are. Like, you were just making enemies with every single person there.
For no reason.
For no reason. So then Rupert tells JT to vote for Tom tonight, and he agrees and says, hey, I'm with you. And Rupert's like, okay.
Whatever you say.
We'll see about that. And then that brings us to tribal. We have James talking about being injured, and this is where Jeff says that his niece could beat James in a race, and James is like, for sure that's not true. And Jeff, guess what? I could beat you too. Right now.
Drag Jeff James.
This makes Jeff giggle.
It does.
He says, tee.
I mean,
says,
I don't really know if
can we bring
true.
Boston Rob to the race? Yeah, I don't know if it's true either. James, I think
Like,
James
really
just has a lot of confidence.
Which, hey, I mean, with a body like that, be confident.
I know. Wow. His muscles really are huge. Like,
I know.
I don't feel like I always noticed that, but then when he was sitting down waiting for, or like during the challenge, waiting for Medic to check him out, or like when he was just sitting out, noticing his big muscles, I was like, whoa, that is like kind of crazy.
No, like, he is jacked on jacked.
Being a gravedigger must do that to you, though.
Hey.
That's a lot of dirt.
To move, yeah.
Yeah. You gotta dig deep holes.
Do people really what?
I think they have like a machine.
Right, so I'm like, it's not like he's in there digging 6 feet down.
Right. We gotta get James on the pod.
Hey, not my tea.
Then they talk about the concern of keeping James in the game despite him being injured. And they talk about their challenge performance. And James puts the loss on Tom and Candace for sort of fumbling the puzzle. And Tom talks about how, you know, voting out the physically weak players. And there's a lot of back and forth between him and James and Amanda. And JT continues to just play this middleman role, even at Tribal, which I think is interesting.
I don't know what he thinks he's getting from it. I guess people haven't directly been to his face been like, I don't trust you, like, you're being shady. So maybe he thinks he's getting away with it more than he actually is, but I don't know.
It's not doing what he thinks it's doing.
No, which is unfortunate because it's hard. He didn't. I said this, I think, last episode, the episode before. He has not really faced actual conflict, like huge conflict in a game, or having people not believe him or not trust him. Like, that's not something that he's been up against before. Like a perception that he didn't create. You know?
Right, and he's really doing it to himself.
Yeah, I just don't think he really understood the fact that he's not asked, like, these are all-star, like, these are actual, there's other winners there's people who are strategic masterminds of the game. Like,
people that have played more times than him.
Right, and have more depth in the game than you. Like, you can't, yeah, like, I think he's assuming he's playing with all newbies again, and it's just not the case. You're playing with a different caliber of people. The perception you're trying to build for yourself that's not going to be the reality.
Right. And finally, we have James telling everyone that, if they really think that Tom is the stronger player right now, then vote for James. He wants them to win. So if they think that it means voting himself out, go for it.
I find it really interesting because the narrative for Stephanie's vote, specifically from James, was like, let's look at her past season and really make that a decider. When if you look at Tom was the most physical, one of the most physical in Palau. His performance in Palau was one of the most physical games of all time. 5 immunity wins. Like, that man has proven that he can do it. It's just been a while. He's 5 years, 6 years older. Like, it's been a minute, like.
I also feel like he's not doing as bad in the physical
Right.
portion. It's more like puzzle communication.
Right.
Where, like, they're all sort of struggling, but I think
Yeah.
maybe Tom is taking on more of, like, a big voice in it, and then they're still failing. But, like, I don't see him as being weak.
I think that Colby or Tom, one of them said it at Tribal, basically what you just said, and I think it needs to be vocalized, is that you can't, at this point you guys keep losing, it's not just one person. If it was just one person, the problem would have been solved when Sugar went home, when Stephanie went home, when Sari went home. Like, the problem would have been solved if it was just one person. But
Yeah.
It's not. It's you guys as a group. And I think part of you keep consistently trying to put the blame on one person is the reason why you keep ending back up at Tribal.
Yeah.
Like, you need to have some sort of
Teamwork?
some understanding that you guys together are booty cheeks.
Yeah. It's a collective
Booty
cheek effort.
Performance,
yes. And this brings us to the vote. And crazy enough, Tom goes home.
Who would have thought?
I mean, like, it really is crazy to me that the man who can't even walk is still in the game over Tom. Like, that's so funny.
I mean,
that must feel really bad. If I were Tom, I would feel really bad about myself.
I don't know if I'd feel really bad about myself because this other alliance has proven how strong they are in working together. Like, it's kind of been Tom and Colby against the world for 3 votes at this point. Like,
Yeah.
Tom would have went home last episode had JT not flipped, So
Yeah.
I don't know if I necessarily would have been so bad. I'm like, okay, it was just my clock was ticking and time came, But
Yeah.
I had another point. I told Colby, Tom, JT, mommy, daddy, oh daddy, thank you, daddy. I can't remember what I was gonna say.
Well, let us know when you think about it. Just record a little clip of yourself and then send it to me and I'll add it in.
Something about.
It's going to come back to you while you're watching Love Island.
Right.
Anyways, well, that brings us to the end of the episode. Do you have any final thoughts?
No. I'm excited to see who wins the season. Who knows what could happen?
I know, it's crazy. I have no idea.
I think it might be Coach. Oop.
I mean, with all the screen time he's getting, there's been crazier things that have happened. But anyways, thank you for watching this episode of the Making Fire podcast. We had such a great time. I feel like delirious after all of this.
I know.
And be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Making Fire Pod. And we will catch you next time.
Bye, Smooches. Can't wait to see how this turns out.
Bye.